Hello, week one! If you're watching this, it means that you have survived the introduction to my course, Basic Digital Photography. I'm looking at my computer just to see what we went over today. The introduction, and we talked a bit about our gear. Everyone's gear will be a bit different. Some of your cameras come with a zoom lens, some of them come with also a zoom, but a bit more basic. And some of you will have bought your own lenses, maybe some other additions, some other gadgets, and just want to show you, first of all, recap on a few things that we would have said, show you a few of the lenses that I have just to refresh your memory, and also encourage you to do this week's homework. We won't call it homework, shall we? Should we call it assignment, practice? Let's call it practice. Practice this week. The earlier on the week that you get the practice done, the better, because the later on in the week that it gets, A, you start forgetting things, and B, what was B? You run out of time. So yeah, everybody do the homework. I wanted to show you a few of the things that I have. We talked about different types of lenses, and I'm sure you've seen all this before, but this lens, for example, it's called a 50mm lens. Its nickname is the Nifty 50. The first thing I want to say about these lenses is that they are super cheap and light. Secondly, they're amazing to learn on. But if you can see, there's no zooming going on here, right? It's too small. This is the focus ring, which if you have on autofocus, you won't ever use it. And why would you want a lens that doesn't have a zoom function? Because it forces you to move. It stops you from being lazy. If there's something in your way, a person, a tree, whatever it is, or if the viewpoint isn't quite right, instead of zooming, you'll take a step back, or you'll move your reposition. Okay, and the other thing that I wanted to say about this was just quite funny, is that I am constantly losing my lens caps, which is really super annoying. I should just say I'm going to put it in my back pocket, and that'll be that. So before I started filming, I actually couldn't find the cap. Really important to keep them covered and not to do what I'm doing at the moment, which is that not to expose the back of the lens, because that can expose it to dirt and sand and all kinds of nasty things, and then you will get spots and dots on your sensor and spots on your picture, and then you'll have to start getting those removed, which is annoying. So I'm just going to click this little guy back in. There were just a few more things I wanted to tell you. First of all, this is how I was going to film today's video. I was going to use my actual camera, seeing as this is a workshop on how to use your camera. And I was going to use this very bright video light. Ta-da! Ow. But what happened, the camera is actually too heavy with this light for my tripod, so the tripod kept collapsing and chopping my head off. So here we are back to filming on my iPhone. So that's that lens. I'm sure you guys remember some of this. I mean, this is a super expensive lens I bought, an 85mm lens that I use for portraits. I don't think it's something that you would really want to use, because it's extremely heavy and extremely expensive. So my recommendations, basically, I mean, I could go and sit and go through all my collection of ridiculous amounts of lenses. You would think that maybe you would want a zoom like this, right? Because you could, like, I don't know, zoom from here to across the road. But how often do you need to do that? It doesn't happen that often. So this is also not so practical for just general day-to-day needs. I would say the most practical lenses, to sum up, because we do not want to talk forever, the most practical lenses, again, is this Nifty 50, which I'm not taking off the camera. This one, which is very light, really cheap. I don't know, I think I paid $80 for this or something like that. That's a great lens to learn on. Obviously, the lens that your camera comes with could be good. The lens that my camera was going to come with was so rubbish I didn't bother. I bought the camera body without the lens, and then I went and bought this zoom. This zoom is called a 2470. It's expensive though, so instead of looking for Canon or Nikon or whatever company you have, a lot of Canon users will go and look for Sigma, which are pretty good quality and a lot cheaper. So it's basically about knowing your needs when it comes to lenses and what kind of photography you're going to be doing. Are you going to be photographing a lot of like gymnastic shows in the dark? In which case, you probably need to think not only about the type of zoom lens you're going to get, but maybe some kind of extra lighting as well. If you have any questions about anything that I've rambled on about in the last 5 minutes, let me know. And I look forward to seeing your assignments. So regarding the non-homework assignments, if you take more than one picture that you want to show everyone in the group, that's amazing. But please, please, please just make it part of an album. Either I'll make the album for you, or you can make individual albums. I'll have to think about that quick. But just don't post up pictures one at a time, because it will take up a lot of space in people's newsfeed and they will stop looking at it and they'll be really sad. But I really encourage you all to look at each other's pictures, see what it is that you like about them, comment on them, be warm and fuzzy. Check it out, and I will speak to you and hear from you soon.